Okay, people are still coming in, but I think we can start. So, Ray, if you could continue just to let people in as they come in, that'll be great. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Maud. Welcome to this evening's call. I'm an independent member with CashFX. I've been with the company now for just over 11 months. It's been a very good experience and one I'm very happy to share with you. On this evening's call, I'll be talking very quickly a bit of background on myself and how I found CashFX. I'll be spending quite a bit of time going through the due diligence on the project. I'm an independent member, so I was introduced to the business in exactly the same way as you've been here tonight, and we spent a lot of due diligence going through every aspect of the business because I am a professional business person. I don't like to jump into projects and spending time on something that's not going to be around long term. So it was very important to me, and I'm sure it's very important to you as well. And then I'll spend a bit of time going through how the business works and how you make money from the business, basically letting the pro traders do the work for you. So a bit of background on myself. I'm a company director. Up until recently, I was a director of a company called Deval, which is a pharmaceutical company in the process of developing an anti-inflammatory and autoimmune serum called Ames Pro. I also invest in startup companies. I've done that for many years. I prefer to do that rather than put my money into a pension. Basically, I keep control of my money that way. I know where it's going, etc. So it's my choice and not a third party's. I also raise funds for projects as well. I've been working on projects, everything from satellites through to pipelines, state-of-the-art computer systems, that kind of thing, basically across the board, anything from 20 to 200 million. And I was introduced to this project by a friend of mine, John Kinnear. John is a very successful businessman. He's made millions of dollars over the years in various ventures. He's someone that is very analytical in his approach, which is something I appreciate. He's also someone that, like me, will not just jump into a project. He will spend a lot of time going through it very carefully before he puts his name to it. So I knew that when he approached me regarding CashFX, that it would be something that would be of interest, and sure enough it was. I was impressed, and I joined the business back at the end of July last year. I've been involved in startups before, often as a company director. Usually it can be quite challenging simply because, when you're with a startup company, that, the funds are limited. Usually you have to build, then you raise funds, then you build, raise funds, etc. CashFX has been different in that the owners of the company are already very successful and have invested or are investing significant money into the project. They've also partnered up with world-class partners, and that has made a big difference. It has been very plain sailing since I've been with the company, which is again another reason why I'm very happy to be sitting here giving you this overview. Both John and I did a lot of due diligence on the project. John in particular went over, met the owners, spent 3 days with them. John, being typically analytical, went through absolutely everything with a fine-tooth comb, and he came away mightily impressed. And since then, we've been working closely with the company. John in particular has been helping them out with their marketing. He's a top-end marketing man, and the company was so impressed with him that they actually have invited him to become the marketing director a few months ago. So it's actually, that's been a very good experience as well. To have him with the company, because obviously he's working with them on a day-to-day basis and can see what they're doing, and we've been mightily impressed with everything we've seen. So let's just go through some of the key elements that we've seen, which are important. So to start off with, the company or the business that we're in is in the foreign exchange market, the Forex market. For those of you that are unfamiliar with that, it's basically the differences between currencies around the world. For example, the British pound versus the Japanese yen, there are always those fluctuations. And if you know what you're doing, you can trade those fluctuations and make very good money. The market is decentralized, and there are around 80 to 90 private or retail traders, people like you and I that have chosen to learn how to become a Forex trader and trade from home. And there are many of them making very serious incomes and have very nice lifestyles accordingly. So it is a market that if you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money in. But even though there's 80 to 90 million private traders, They only make up a small percentage of the market. The market is dominated by the banks and institutions, which make up around 95%, and they are in the market because of the liquidity that is available. It's a $5.3 trillion a day market, which is easily the biggest traded market in the world by a long way. You could put all the other markets, the stock market, the commodities market, etc., into a pile, and they'd only still make a small fraction of this market. And this is why the banks or institutions are in the market, because they know they can trade billions of dollars and make billions of dollars. Now, that was one of the first tick boxes for us, because it's important to have a market where a company like CashFX can grow into, because the potential of the company is going to become very large in the coming years. So it's important to have that headroom so the company can grow. So that was one of the first tick boxes that we looked at with regard to the marketplace. The second very key element is the fact that the market is historically proven to be recession-proof. That was really important when we looked at it, because, of course, again, we were looking at it from a longevity point of view. But obviously, thanks to recent events, it has become vitally important. I have a lot of successful business people that I'm partnered with. They often have 1, 2, 3, 4 companies that they're running, and what I'm seeing there is, they're selling their companies. They're concerned they may not even have companies in the future. So they are seeing, CashFX as a very important lifeline, not just for them, but also for their employees as well. And so this makes CashFX quite important, to have a business that is actually making people money, a business where you can work from home, which is a key thing. So it is really important that we're in this market. Smart money is moving out of the stock market, for example, into things like cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, and also the Forex market. Someone was telling me the other day the market's up to $6.6 trillion. And as I said, people are moving into this market because it is recession-proof. By the way, the reason it's recession-proof is simply because it doesn't matter what's going on around the world, you're still going to have those fluctuations between the currencies, and so you continue to trade without any issues. Another key element of this market is the fact that there are flexible risk management strategies available. And what that means is that if traders know what they're doing, they can keep the risk really low, but still maintain those high returns. And as an aside, it's something that I often see if ever I'm approached regarding a project. Certainly in the Forex market, it's one of the first areas you look at. Okay, it's great that they're making very good returns, but it's a double-sided coin, and you have to look at the other side, and that is what are the risk strategies of the company. And very often they are rubbish. You're looking at drawdown as high as 40%, which is basically means they're gambling with your money. And it's often the case you'll see the companies collapse shortly after launching because they've just been careless. So what you're looking for is a company that has a very low risk strategy. And again, CashFX is that. They have a drawdown as low as 3%. And so low risk, but getting those high returns. So that's what you want. That's where the skill is. Now, the market works, also the business works in a similar way to the banks, in that when you put your money into a bank account, the bank pools your money. They trade your money in various markets, in particular the Forex market, again, because of the reasons I've already said, and what they're effectively doing is leveraging your money to maximize their gains. So they're using your money to make money, which is fair enough. That's their business model. Banks don't make their money just from the fees they charge. It's all about using your money to make money, which is a very smart thing to do. The key difference between a bank and, for example, CashFX, same principle. Take the money, pool the money. The money's traded 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. The key difference is, though, at the end of the week, every Saturday, we see those trading returns in our available account, which is money that we can then withdraw. So that's the basic principle to the business. The key thing, though, is what we've got here is a business model where you do not have to know the first thing about the Forex market. You don't have to do any trading yourself. You're basically letting the professionals do the work for you, so that you see those trading returns every Saturday. Now, that's the basics, and of course I'll expand on that a bit later on. Now, just some of the key things regarding the due diligence side is, for example, how do we know that CashFX is actually trading and making us the returns that they say they are. Well, first and foremost, and a bit of a giveaway, is the fact that every single member, CashFX member, receives those trading returns every Saturday. That's real money, money that you can withdraw. There are many other aspects to the business in our dealings with the company that shows that they are very serious and doing everything properly. But one of the other areas, which is a key area, is the broker. Again, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the Forex market, you have to go through a broker to trade the Forex market. You can't just trade the Forex market without going through a broker. So the way it works is, if you are the trader, basically, oops, just one second. There you go. So if you are the trader, you deposit your funds with the broker holds onto the funds, the trader then makes the trades, the broker then instigates those trades, money in, money out, wins, losses, etc. And then obviously there's the money left over at the end of the day. So the broker is in a unique position to see exactly what the trader is doing. They can see how much money they're trading, how they're trading, because they're instigating the trades electronically, as I said, and then how much money is left over at the end of the day, so they can see how successful the trader is in what they're doing. Now that's important, and that's something I'll come back to in a second. Now there are brokers and there are brokers. There are brokers that, for example, are unknown entities, often attached to the trading company. That's a significant red flag. You don't want to go anywhere near there. There are brokers that are non-regulated or minimally regulated. That's absolutely fine. There are some world-class brokers out there that have chosen to go down that route because it's less restrictive, because being a regulated company can be extremely restrictive in everything you do. And it also means they can offer, say, for example, higher risk products, and there is a market for that. But in my opinion, if you're looking for the best broker, you're looking for a broker that is regulated. The company that CashFX uses is regulated. They're a European-based, internationally recognized, multi-award winning, multi-regulated broker. They are, just one second. Yeah, they are, for example, regulated by the CISEC, which is one of the main regulatory bodies for Europe. They're also regulated by the Cayman and Seychelles authorities, and they're currently going through the process of being regulated by the FCA here in the UK, Financial Conduct Authority, and also the South African authorities as well. Now, the reason they're being multi-regulated like this is because it opens up different markets from around the world, and the whole point, their pitch is very simple. Your money's with us because we are a multi-regulated broker, and that's the whole point. When you're going through a regulated broker, your money's protected. It's like a banker, if you like, and the company that is regulated has to do everyththing by the book, because they're constantly watched by the regulators. And again, that's the idea. The regulation is there to protect the customers. So this is a very special company. They are, as I said, multi-award regulated. They're also multi-award winning, for example, best new multi-asset broker, best online CFD brokers. These are serious awards. They're also the official global partner of Sevilla Football Club. For those of you that are not into football, but Sevilla are one of the top European clubs. They're, I think, number 3 in the Spanish league at the moment, behind Barcelona and Real Madrid. So a premier club, as you can see here, EverFX logo on the shorts here next to the Nike logo. So again, you've got to be a serious company to be a sponsor, partner of a premier football club. You've got to have a lot of money at the end of the day, because that's not a cheap process. So this company is world class. Now, as I've already mentioned, it's a good thing, the fact that CashFX, have this kind of broker as their broker, but also as the broker for CashFX, they can see exactly what CashFX are doing. They can see how much money they're trading, how they're trading, because they're instigating trades, and how successful they are. So it's important to note that there are many occasions recently on record where EverFX are strongly recommending CashFX. This is really important because, as I said, they can see firsthand what CashFX is doing. They are a multi-regulated company, and you must understand there is zero chance that a multi-regulated company would recommend a company that they can see firsthand and not doing what they say they're doing. So the point being is that CashFX is doing exactly what they say they're doing. They are the trading returns that we're seeing and receiving, remember, we're obviously withdrawing that money, are real. And the company must also be of a significant high standard for a company like EverFX to actually go out of their way to recommend the companies, because they must be very impressed with CashFX up to this point, but also by putting their name to the company, they're effectively, basically saying that in their belief the company is going to be good long term. So if CashFX mess up in the future, that would come back to reflect very badly on them as a regulated company. So that shows tremendous faith in what CashFX is doing. Now, there's plenty of information out there, videos, etc., but one I do recommend is an 8-minute video of the Chief Operations Officer from EverFX standing up on stage. By the way, if you haven't got this video or seen it, ask the person that introduced you to get hold of it for you, the link, so you can watch it. So it's an 8-minute video of the COO, which is a senior board director of EverFX, standing up on stage, talking about his background, obviously a very experienced guy, talks about why they're being multi-regulated along the lines I was saying, but he also goes on to talk about the relationship with CashFX, and as you'll see, he doesn't pull any punches. He strongly recommends CashFX. He talks about the fact that they see thousands of traders. Of course they do. They are the broker. The fact that CashFX does is unique, the way they make the markets come to them. He talks about one of the owners, the lead trader, Edwin Abad, as a world-class trader, a trader that trades without emotion. So as you'll see, it's a very strong recommendation. But again, so this gets back to what I was saying. For a regulated broker to recommend a company like CashFX, that is a huge tick box. It's one of the biggest. It means that basically everything that CashFX is doing is genuine, and that's so important, because I could show you a business today where you could earn $1 million a day, but if the money coming into the business isn't real, then it's not worth, not worth doing, of course. But with CashFX, the money that is coming in from the trading is the thing that powers the whole business moving forward and enables you to make money from the Forex market. So just a couple of other things on the due diligence, which are important. Again, the owners of the company are a key element in any project, and the owners of CashFX, are serious individuals. Wasco Lopez, very successful individual. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He has significant property holdings. He has significant land holdings in very key locations. He has significant manufacturing facilities with government contracts. He also is a very successful Bitcoin trader. He has got a massive Bitcoin holding. A while ago, he sold just some of that Bitcoin holding. I think it was 2017, just before the crash. So again, he knows what he's doing, for $90 million. So yeah, very clever guy, very successful, and he is the captain of the ship. We've been very impressed with him. He lives in the US, and we work with him on a daily basis. Obviously, we used to be able to meet him, but we can't now because of the virus, of course. But the fact is, he's in communication with us all the time. John, in particular, as the marketing director, is working with him on a daily basis. And as professional business people, we've been very impressed with the way he's setting up the company and everything he's doing. And in particular, the fact that he is investing serious money into the project, serious money, his own money into the project, millions of dollars, and everything from the headquarters, the new payment processor, the new academy program, the legal side, the companies that they're working with, and everything else. So these are all tick boxes. We're very impressed with him across the board. Same thing with Edwin. Edwin Bad is the other founder. He's the guy that specializes on the trading side. He's the gentleman that's talked about by the COO from EverFX on that video, world-class trader. He's also an excellent engineer. He ran a very successful engineering company in the US. And he combines that engineering prowess with his trading prowess with a lot of the technology they're using for the trading. Couple of stats on the company: 26,000 active members around the world, 180 countries, 100,000 successful payouts. I mean, I will comment on this. I've been with the company now 11 months. I've made, I believe, over 30 withdrawals since I've started, and they've been absolutely seamless. I've withdrawn very serious amounts of money from the project without any problems at all. Same thing for the people in my organization, and the same thing for people in the business across the board. But even so, even though that's been working perfectly, Wasco's not happy with that. He's actually bringing the payment processor in-house. So why? It's because he wants to keep complete control. He doesn't want a potential third party to potentially spoil the party, as it were. So he's keeping that control very closely. That's about to be launched any day now. the technology, again, in-house, again, not purchased from outside. They're developing their own technology, and that's really important from a sustainability point of view, which I'll talk about in a second. Here's some of the team behind the company. As I've already mentioned, John Kinnear, my role, the person who introduced me to the business, is a marketing director, which is great. So these are the CashFX traders and engineers. These guys have one of the most important roles in the business. They are the engine room, if you like, of the business. These are the guys that are doing the trading for us. They're all highly experienced traders. John Wilson on the bottom left here is the lead trader, and John Lurstop on the bottom right here has a very important role as the lead engineer on the project, and he works very closely with Edwin, and these are the guys responsible for developing, honing, tweaking, and constantly optimizing the EA or expert advisor system they use. They're also developing AI technology for future use. Now, the expert advisor, what that is basically algorithms, and as I said, you can buy algorithms, bots as they're often called, off the shelf, but that's always problematic because the markets change. And this is the special thing about what these guys are doing. It's not just a fixed entity. Because they've developed it themselves, they're constantly tweaking and honing it. So these guys are looking at what's going on around the world all the time and making judgment calls. And John and Edwin then are constantly honing and tweaking the system to optimize it. Now, why do you use a system like this? Well, it's simply because if you look at the market, it's traded 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Traders need to sleep. Human beings need to sleep. Machine doesn't. Machine also doesn't have a bad day. It trades completely without emotion. Doesn't matter if it's trading $5 or $5 billion. It will trade, like a machine. And the other thing it can do is make many more trades than a human being can. For example, it can do a thing called scalping, where it can do thousands of very fast trades in out, just taking a little profit off the top, hence the name scalping, which is a very effective way of keeping risk low, but maintaining high returns. So these guys do a remarkable job. I mean, I've been with the company 11 months, and I've seen returns of anywhere from 5 to 13% a week. And I'll repeat that, 5 to 13% a week. Those are stunning returns. Where else are you going to get returns like that? And so these guys do the work for us. Basically what they're doing is they're making us a world-class trader without us ever being the first thing to know anything about trading or do any trading ourselves. So that is the essence of the business. And the money that's coming in from the trading, and remember, this is real, those are real returns. We wouldn't get a multi-regulated company recommending the company otherwise, not to mention the fact that we've withdrawn that money, is testament to what these guys are doing. As I said, world-class traders, and that basically is the whole thing that powers the business and everything else moving forwards. Just a couple of final things on the due diligence, again important. These were things that when we were looking at the business, we were like, yeah, okay, these are again significant tick boxes. And the partners that are working with the company are important. And in this case, the technology consultant, these are the guys that do all the back office infrastructure, are the conversion pros. They're a US-based company, internationally recognized. They work with Fortune 500 companies and many big companies around the world. They have an excellent reputation. They're considered to be one of the best in the market. So again, when you see a company that is taking on a company like the conversion pros, then you're looking at a company that is committing, is spending serious money, because again, the best is never the cheapest option, is it? And these guys are the best because, as I said, I've been involved in startup companies over the years, and it's often challenging, whereas with CashFX, it's been amazingly smooth sailing, and it's down to the skills of these guys. So again, the company is investing in the project, which is something that you want to see. In addition to that, normally you wouldn't actually know that these guys were behind the company. At best, you'd probably see their name at the bottom, powered by Conversion Pros or something. But as you can see here, got a full page spread, and that's simply because Ron Pope, who's one of the co-founders and president and CEO of the company, very experienced, very well-known US businessman. He's been working with many companies over the years, but only in the background as the consultant. But he's been so impressed with what he's seen with CashFX for the first time. He's actually joined the business and is actually out there strongly recommending it. I'm sure you can find videos about Ron Pope online where they're interviewing his relationship with CashFX and how impressed he's been. Remember, because of course he can see everything. He is the infrastructure of the company. So that again was a huge tick box for us. You know, he's never done that before. You know, he's putting his name, his company name, which has an excellent name, on the line by recommending CashFX. So again, he must have tremendous faith in what the company's doing. Finally, by no means least, we've got the headquarters. Again, most online companies don't even have a headquarters. If they do, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a leased operation. Usually, again, because there isn't the money being invested in the project early on. But again, CashFX is not like that. They are a bricks and mortar operation, which means they've actually purchased their own office outright. So they've purchased the whole of the 9th floor, which is a 10,000 square foot serious office of the RBS Tower, which is a serious, prestigious building in a prestigious part of Panama City. Why Panama? Well, it's a combination of things. There are a lot of top companies based in Panama City. Fantastic banking solutions, fantastic tax incentives, but also uniquely for CashFX, they have tremendous close relationship with the government of Panama. So it was a no-brainer for them to be able to set up the company in Panama. But anyway, they spent $1.2 million on the 9th floor of the building, which is a serious investment. They spent another $1 million doing it up. Oops, Carolina's head off there. And Carolina Venturi is the architect on the project. So it's a $2.2 million project. The offices are, to all intents and purposes, well, they are complete. They just haven't been able to move the furniture yet or people in because, of course, the lockdown that's going on around the world, which is frustrating because it'd be great to have these offices up and running. But as soon as the lockdown is eased, they'll be able to open the offices. And when they are opened, it's going to have the most advanced trading floor in the whole of the Southern Hemisphere. And I'll say that again, the most advanced trading floor in the whole of the Southern Hemisphere. And that's what these guys are all about. You know, Waskar is not messing around. He doesn't just want this to be a good company. He wants to make it one of the best. This is going to be a legacy business for him. And again, a $2.2 million investment is not a toe in the water. That is a serious commitment. It's a sign of a company that is expecting to be around long term. No short-term company looks to spend $2.2 million on their headquarters. And when the offices are open, everyone on this call, if you wanted to, would be able to visit the offices. They're going to have an open door policy, so people will be able to visit the offices, look around, watch the operation, see the traders doing their thing, and even be able to use the boardroom if you want to do meetings and stuff. So just as a sort of just a final thing, you know, on the due diligence, we've got a company here that is set up about as good as it can possibly be. I've been looking around at projects a lot over the last few years. Haven't joined any of them. Why? Simply because they don't stack up. The due diligence isn't there. Whereas with this company, every single tick box is there. The fact that they've got, you know, for example, a multi-regulated company actually going out of their way to recommend the business is remarkable, and shows the caliber of what we've got here for this operation. And this is important. This is why I've spent the time on this. And this is, by the way, why I'm very happy to be sitting here talking to you about it. The fact that you've got this backing the company means that what I'm going to show you now, this is the foundation basically for what I'm going to show you now, which is basically how the business works and how we make money. So as we already know, we've got the pro traders, they're doing the work. So basically how it works or starts off, you just basically buy what's called a trade pack. And a trade pack can be as little as $300. And I just want to make a comment there. If you think about it, how many businesses out there in the world can you start for $300? And if you're starting a shop, for example, it's going to cost you massively more than that, or whatever you're going to be doing, whether it's a window cleaner or whatever, it's going to cost you a lot more than $300 to start. So you can buy a $300 trade pack, and it goes all the way up to a $100,000 trade pack at the top end. And we have people coming in at every single level from 300 to 100K. Obviously, people that are coming in the 170, 50Ks are doing a lot of due diligence on the project, and they're very impressed and coming in at those kinds of levels. Now, one thing I would say, and this is really important, I apologize if you are an experienced business builder, a business person already, that you'll probably understand this, but if you're someone that has perhaps never done a business before, it's really important that you put your sensible hat on when you are coming into any project, because one of the most important fundamentals of business across the board is there's no such thing as a guaranteed business. If you ever come across a company that says it's guaranteed, don't even go there, because I can tell you that will be a scam 100%. So it doesn't matter. Every single business in the world has a risk. And the way you minimize that risk is by doing your due diligence, as I've just gone through there. So the due diligence on CashFX stacks up across the board, but that doesn't make it a guaranteed business. Same thing with the trading. At the end of the day, the trading results they've had are world class, not only since the time I've been involved with the company, but obviously previous to before they launched the company. And trading results like that are a very good indicator of future results, but they're not a guarantee. Trading by its very nature is also risky. The fact the guys have minimized the risk by having a very low drawdown, etc., is all tick boxes, but again, not guaranteed. So this is an important thing. So when you're coming into a project like this, it's important you have your sensible hat on. Don't bet the farm, don't remortgage your house, don't borrow money or anything stupid like that. Just come in at a level that you can afford. That's really important. A level that you feel comfortable with. And I think that's probably the right word, comfortable. If you come in at a level you feel comfortable with, whether that's $300 or $100,000, whatever level that is, just come in at that level. If you do that, then you'll enjoy the experience. So just important, particularly for those of you that have never been in a business before, that you understand that. Okay, so basically, how does this work? So when you buy a trade pack with CashFX, whether that's a $300 pack or a 100K pack, it's the same thing. 30% of the value of the pack goes towards the Academy program. The other 70% goes towards the trade pool deposit. That's the bit where the pro traders do the work for you, etc. But I'll just explain a bit about the Academy pack, because this is a really important part of the business. The company is actually listed as a training company. Now, it's optional, it's not something you have to do, of course, but it might be something that would interest you. If you don't want to learn anything about trading and don't have time for it or whatever, then that's absolutely fine. Just let the pro traders do the work for you, etc. However, you may be at a crossroads in your life right now. You may be someone that has always wanted to do trading, but never known how to start, etc. So what CashFX is offering here with the Academy program is a world-class training program. It's currently under development. They're spending a serious amount of money on it and time developing it. It is very near to completion. It's going to be launched hopefully in this month / next month. That's how close it is. And when it is launched, it's going to be a government accredited program, which again is a testament to how serious the product's going to be. And you'll be able to learn from the very basics of the trading right the way to the Supreme Series, where you're going to be taught advanced trading techniques and, importantly, the psychology of professional trading. It's really important you learn how to trade without becoming emotionally involved, because if you become emotionally involved, you can change the way you trade. So that's a very important skill set. So as I said, this is going to be a world-class training program. So, CashFX members, if they want to, can plug themselves into the program and go step by step, go through the training program and become a serious trader and become one of the 80-90 million retail traders out there in the market, working from home and making money from the Forex market, completely independent of any other company. This is something that you can do yourself. So this is going to really be a fantastic product when it's launched in the coming weeks. So that's one side. The other side is the trade pool deposit. So looking at a $300 pack, which is the first one on the list, so the 30% goes to the Academy program, $90. The remaining $210, 70% then goes to the trade pool. That is traded Monday to Friday by the pro traders. You're not involved in that process. The traders are doing the work for you, but then you receive your trading returns every Saturday. This is real money, money that you can withdraw. Key thing. So a pack will complete once it gets to 2 times the original purchase price. So in the case of a $300 pack, that's $600. In the case of a 100K pack, that's $200,000. So when the pack completes, it's completely up to you what you do from there. Because remember, you've been taking your money out every Saturday, so it's in your bank account. It's completely up to you what you do. You can take your money and run, or you can come back in and buy another pack at that level. Obviously, if you're on a 100K pack, you can't upgrade anyway. Or you can do, if you're on a lower pack, you can use some of the profits you're making from the trading to then upgrade to a higher pack. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, it's very simple. So in the case of a $300 pack, you're initially trading $210. If you upgrade to the $500 pack, you're now trading $350. Because you're trading money, when I say you, the pro traders on your trading on your behalf, that means that you're going to get a bigger return at the end of the week. It's a very simple process. Now, what CashFX has done, I think it's very clever, is if you upgrade before a pack completes, they allow you to upgrade to the next level up by just paying the difference. So in the case of a $300 to $500 pack, you're just paying $200. So you're not paying $500, you're paying $200 to upgrade. Now, the reason that's important, because it means you can use the profits that you're making from the trading to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade over time. So you can work your way up to the higher packs, even up to the 100K pack if you want to, just by using the profits from the trading, not putting any more money from your own pocket. Now, when I joined CashFX, I could have come in with a much higher pack, but I decided to start off with a $300 pack. Reason being, I'm an experienced business builder, and I wanted to see how quickly I can go from 300 to the 100K pack, and I managed to do it in 8 months. Now, again, I must reiterate, I'm an experienced business builder. I'm sure there'll be people that will do it quicker than me, but I think most people will take longer. But even as a passive member, you could still get up to there in time without putting any more of your own money into the project. And that's the essence of this business, that people can start off small and build up to something significant. So when I first started, my account was trading $210. I've now worked my way up to the 100K pack, where my account is now trading $70,000. So I've gone from 300 to 100K, no more money of my own money into the business. I've used the business and the trading to enable me to do that. I've now got an account trading $70,000 every week. If you're getting a 5 to 13%, very serious return on a weekly basis. And that's the essence of the business. And you also have flexibility. For example, you may decide that you don't want to continue upgrading. You might want to stop at the 5K or 10K pack and just let that pack complete, take your profits, and then restart the process. So it gives you tremendous flexibility in what you're doing. So we've got a product here that's going in a $5.3 trillion a day market with pro traders that really know what they're doing. Traders that are being recommended by the broker that they're going through, multi-regulated broker, getting world-class results. 5 to 13% are stunning. By the way, people often ask me, how long does a pack take to complete? Again, this was something we looked at very closely when we first started the business, and the correct answer we were looking for, a pack will take as long as it will take. What does that mean? Well, if we'd seen anything like, a fixed percentage return, like you get 10% per week fixed, or a pack will take 2 months every time, 2 months to complete, or we're still compounding. If we'd seen any of those three things, we would not have joined the business. Why? Because that's good old money game scenarios. It looks fantastic on paper. Unfortunately, this is why a lot of people join those kinds of businesses, because you start off with a small amount of money, you're a millionaire by Wednesday. The problem is that you'll never see that $1 million. It's just on paper. It'll never happen. Why? Because that is not a sustainable business model. The way CashFX works is if the traders are doing well, the pack speeds up. If the traders are doing less well, the pack slow down. So it's that constant match that is so important, because that's an indefinite business model. There's never going to be an issue where the CashFX will be paying out more money than the money that's coming in from the trading. And so again, completely sustainable long term. Now, as far as timeframes go, well, the fact you're getting 5 to 13% a week, yeah, your money's growing really fast. I mean, where else are you going to get 5 to 13% a week returns? So that's the essence of the whole model, that you can start off and you can build up to a significant traded amount, which can give you a significant weekly return. And you've also got the option to be able to, and that's without knowing a first thing about any trading. You don't do any trading yourself, etc. But you've also got the option to learn how to become a Forex trader and trade yourself in that market. And you can do that alongside the money you're making, or completely independently, etc. So this is a world-class product. Now, if that's your only interest, by the way, in CashFX, I'm going to show you another way how you can make money from CashFX. It's the business side. It's a referral program. A lot of companies out there like Amazon and Virgin, etc. These companies also have referral programs. If you would like to know how to make additional income streams and very significant income streams by referring other members to CashFX, then do stay on the call. But if you want to be just a passive member, have no interest in looking at anything else, then by all means, finish the call now and just get back to the person that introduced you and get any questions answered regarding the passive side of the business. But if you'd like to know basically how to make money from the referral side of the business, then obviously stay on the call. So this is how this works. Now, by the way, one thing we've noticed, that even when someone is a passive member and has no interest in referring others, this is a sort of product that is actually quite difficult not to refer someone to. If you think about it, if you are making money in something, you can see that it's really good, you'd actually probably refer your business acquaintances, friends, and family to it anyway, even if you weren't going to make money. And let's face it, what is a referral? A referral is simply inviting someone along to a call like this. As you can see, there's no hype, there's no rah-rah. It's just a business overview. And if they decide to join at the back of that, great. If they decide not to, that's great. Either way is absolutely fine. But that is the process. You're just basically referring people to something that you probably refer them to anyway. So let's explain how this works. If you bought a 1K pack, this is just the example here. You might have bought it outright or upgraded to it. Then the 70% is taken towards the trading account. So that's that money is $700 that is traded Monday through Friday. You receive your trading returns every Saturday. Remember, that's withdrawable income. And then the pack will complete once it gets to 2 times the purchase price. So a 1K pack will complete at 2 times, which is $2,000. So you're not getting 2 times the 700. You're actually getting 2 times the full purchase price at $2,000. Remember, that's your money. It's in your bank account. It's completely up to you what you do with it from there. The 30% that was taken for the Academy program, that is then split down. 100% is paid out by the company. $150 in this case, 50% goes towards the fast start bonus, which goes to the enroller. The other 50% goes to something that's called a unit level. I'll explain that. So important, a couple of things to note. First of all, the company is paying out 100% here. So where do they make their money? They make their money, they put their money where their mouth is, and they're basically taking their trading profits off the top. So in other words, they're relying on their own trading skills to make money. Another thing to note is we don't get paid a penny on the trading amount, only on the Academy product, which is important. So let's explain how the fast start works. And this is a very simple concept, but it's very, very clever, because as you're going to see, you can do something once and get paid again and again for one-time effort. I use myself as the example. By the way, just before I do that, just important to sort of set the expectation. If you are interested in the business side of the business, then obviously understand it is a real business. It's a very clever business, in my opinion. It's a fantastic business, and it's we've got people from all walks of life doing really well in it. But the fact is, it does take work. Don't come into the business thinking that you're going to make money apart from the passive side, as I've already shown you. If you want to work the business side, then obviously take it seriously. If you look at the top income earners in the company, they're all working really hard. They're treating it as a real business and working it as a real business. So as long as you have the realistic expectation, then you can do very well with CashFX. So again, let's explain how the fast start works. So I'll take myself as the example. So John, he showed me an overview like this. I was impressed, asked him a few questions, joined the business, started with $300. The 30% was taken for the Academy pack. 50% of that went to the unit level. The other 50%, or $45, was paid to John. So John received $45. Can't exactly retire on that. Now, remember, there's no upfront fees and no monthly fees. I'm not sure I mentioned that. There are no monthly fees or anything like that with CashFX, which means we have a very high retention rate. I would say it's probably close to 100%. Why? It's because of the fact that people are making money. Everyone's making money, so why would you leave the business? So key thing. And so having no monthly fees is a very important factor in having that maintenance. However, how does then John make money again and again and again? It's simply because I am making money. So I joined for $300. Now I'm getting my trading returns. That's giving me money that I can then afford to upgrade to the next level using the profits from the trading. withdraw my money, come back in and purchase an upgraded pack. Remember, just paying the difference. When I did that, John received another fast start. I then upgraded to the 1K pack, he received another fast start, and so on and so forth, all the way up to the 100K pack. When I purchased the 100K pack, John then received $7,500. So let's just rewind. So what did he do? He showed me the opportunity once, just an overview like this. I joined for just $300, but since then he's been paid again and again. Now he's getting paid $7,500. If now that I'm on a 100K pack, that pack will complete like all packs do. So they completed 200K. I take my 100K profit. I come back in and I buy another 100K pack. And of course, I'm going to do that. Why? It's because I want to continue to make that money. And when I do, every time that I do, that 50% is worth $15,000. So I did this just the other day. About 3-4 weeks ago, I renewed my pack and John received $15,000. Now, every time I renew my pack will complete. I come back in and renew it. John is going to receive $15,000 again and again and again. So remember, he introduced me once for $300 and now he's receiving that. So this is the point with CashFX. This is a remarkable aspect of the business. No monthly fees, and yet people are still getting paid again and again and again. So how many people do you like to introduce to CashFX? You introduce one. When that person gets to the 100K pack, you're going to receive $15,000 every time they renew it. You introduce 10. And think about that. How many businesses out there do you know that you can make $150,000 for introducing just 10 people? There aren't many, that's for sure. So again, they might start off with a small pack, but they can upgrade over time to the 100K. And when they do, you're going to be getting paid 150K. I've got a lady in my team, Hazel. She's a 68-year-old grandmother. She's never done anything like this before. She's just been putting posts up on social media, Facebook, etc. And she's now introduced 45 people. So you do the maths on that, what sort of money she's going to be making from those referrals once they get up to the 100K pack. And they're already on their way. She's got people on 20, 30K packs in her business already. So this is a remarkable part of the plan. Even just forget everything else almost that I'm going to show you. This alone, just a simple referral system, you can get paid again and again every time when someone joins your business and they are making money and upgrading their pack, etc. Now, the other 50%, remember, goes to something called a unilevel. Sounds technical, but it really isn't. So when I joined on John's first level because I was the first person or the person he introduced. And when I did that, John got the fast start, as I've always shown you, but he also received 10% here from the unilevel, which at that time was $4.50. Now that I'm on a 100K pack, every time I renew, he's going to receive an additional $1,500. So he gets his $15,000 plus $1,500 every time I renew. Now, I may not have referred anyone, in which case that's fine, it will stop there, but I haven't. I've gone out and referred Fred, who's referred Steve, who's referred Jane, and every time those people bought a pack, John received that 10% bonus. And every time they renew, upgrade, or whatever their pack, again, John receives that bonus again and again and again. If you work the business seriously, get up to executive. I've got remember, like 160 executives in my organization right now. And again, these are people that have taken the business seriously. You know, it's not easy, but it is attainable. That's why I've got 160 people in my business, but it's worthwhile doing because you're now picking up 20%. So someone, you know, on these levels that work their way up to 100K pack or even joins at 100K pack is going to pay you $3,000 every time they renew. So you think about that, the number of people you can have on these levels that you're getting paid these bonuses again and again. So it's just like the fast start, but instead of just on the people you've introduced, on the people they've introduced as well. I mean, Hazel, again, is a great example of this. She's got a team of 400 people now that she's making money from all these levels. She's working towards going to manager, which is the next level up. And as you can see, you then pick up the additional levels, which is additional money. So this is a world-class rewards plan, guys. I've been in the industry 20 years. I've never seen one like this. It means that people can start off for a one-time fee. They get in their trading returns, so they're making money anyway. But if they start to refer people, they can make incredible fast starts, but also if those people refer people, then you plug yourself automatically into the unilevel, which is really, really powerful. Now, there are other ways that we can make money from the business, but if you're new to the first time you've seen this, I'm sure I've probably blown your mind, as it is a lot of information. I appreciate. And so if you want to find out about the Matrix, get back to the person that introduced you and find out about it. What I will say about the Matrix, again, even if you are a passive member, you can still earn from the Matrix, particularly if you're in an active team where people are building their own businesses, referring people. Those people can be positioned underneath you, and you can actually end up getting team commissions, even though you're just a passive member. So it's a really nice part of the business plan. So that's it, guys. Appreciate a lot of information there, but hopefully it was clear for you. And I'm sure you've got lots of questions. Obviously, get back to the person introduced you, get your questions answered. But just in summary, we've got a business here that you can start for as little as $300. It's tapping into the $5.3 trillion a day Forex market, which is recession proof, which is key right now. It's a business that you can work from home. You can let the pro traders do all the work for you and just benefit from the market. These guys are world class. They're getting incredible returns. It's a company that is being set up properly. You've got a multi-regulated broker that's going out of their way to recommend it, so you don't get a stronger recommendation than that. You've got a business that, if you decide you want to refer people, has the best rewards plan I've ever seen. Because remember, no upfront fees, no monthly fees. The people that join, everyone stays, again, because everyone is making money, which is really special. So that's it, guys. And remember, just, so get back to the person that introduced you, get your questions answered. If you decide to join CashFX, then welcome to the team and congratulations. And again, always remember, if you decide to join, then start off at a level that you feel comfortable with. If you do that, then you'll really enjoy the experience. So thanks very much for listening in. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for listening.